Okay, Ferry Attorney from F2 Architecture, here to present the Queenscliff Ferry Terminal. We're located in Wadawurrung Country. The ferry service really links Queenscliff and Sorrento. The project is a result of a 10-year collaboration with architect and client and a comprehensive master plan. Existing facilities were pretty degraded, as you can see, certainly unable to cope with 10,000 passengers a year peak and almost 1 million passengers a year. And the location, being a maritime location, gets a lot of weather, fairly rundown. Welcome to Queenscliff. Not particularly symmetrical. The gateway maritime location is also shared with the historic boat shed, circa 1923. Probably a better example than the existing passenger terminal. The project for us really started with the long history of the passage between Queenscliff and Sorrento. Between 1,000 and 2,000 years ago, the Wadawurrung and Wadawurrung people, this one, were able to traverse that passage on foot for almost 1,000 years because Port Phillip Bay virtually dried up. Today, the terminal sits on a distinctive landform with intact tracts of native coastal vegetation, and the site itself, with the red dotted line, it really transitions between pretty significant maritime intervention and natural coast form, and also very much a transition between private realm and public realm. So the underlying concepts of place, journey and passage started to form fairly early with the project. The master plan methodology we adopted really places the project requirements in a broader local and ecological context. The operational requirements are central to the client and the operation of the ferry terminal, so the key features of that are in this slide. So improvements to wayfinding and ticketing, a reclaimed wharf adjacent to the vehicle parking, new forecourt and meeting place and bus drop-off area, and very importantly, at level 1, a link with a gantry directly to the ferry, enabling foot passengers to go on while vehicle passengers are going on over here into the ferry. That virtually doubles the ferry capacity. Overlaid with that, we really brought to the project the public realm agenda. The main feature of that, I think, is this boardwalk to the south, built on an existing water break, which obviously had to get rebuilt as part of it. It links the existing coastal paths, terminates in a lookout point and commissioned artwork, not yet installed, and historical narrative, meeting place, bicycle parking. We incorporate beach access and pretty extensive revegetation of the dunes and vegetation, and landscaping of the visitor car park and creation of the visitor car park in order to reduce the heat sink effect. That all comes together on this site plan, so the key features you see there: ticketing, building, reclaimed wharf with the vehicle parking, boardwalk, the southern alignment, lookout, beach access, seating for the public, revegetation of dunes and vegetation, car park. I'll breeze through the internal plans, just so you can see that the boardwalk runs right through within the building, public forecourt, information. Most of the ground floor is actually public realm space, public cafe, a massive kitchen that serves both this facility and Sorrento and the ferries, a little cafe for the vehicle passengers. Upstairs, mainly boarding area, so lounges, vertical transport, passenger lounge and arrival and departure lounge separating through the traffic back to the vertical transport, and some individual lounges for tourist groups and training. The built form response really captures, well, on plan, the upper diagram, it really captures the planning objectives with a very simple linear arrangement anchored by arrival and departure spaces at each end, and to the south public boardwalk, and obviously the north is the interface of the vehicles. The lower diagram is the built form response, really an overarching roof form, a singular expression of shelter but tailored to each of the orientations to deal with specifics of the north, south, east, west interfaces. And it frames arrival and departure, public spaces and paths, local rituals, elevations, provides shelter from maritime conditions. It conceals the plant equipment, and it's a very efficient and cost-effective structure, particularly the overhangs using the arch form made it very economical. The realisation, north interface facing the car park, reclaimed land, forecourt, bus, drop-off, cafe for the passengers, and visitor car park. The southern side and western side is very much public realm, so the revegetation isn't completed there yet, but boardwalk, a longer side facing the south to give more weather protection to both boardwalk and the passenger gantry, revegetation, public beach access and meeting place with bicycle parking and the bus drop-off area. The eastern end is much more passenger business, but the project frames both the gantry to enter directly onto the ferry at first floor level, as well as the boardwalk with yet to be installed artwork. In context, forms very responsive, I guess, to the local natural landform character and the historic boat shed, and it's also really marks that transition line between man-made intervention and the natural and private realm, public realm.
1 minute.
Okay. I'll breeze you through the pictures. This is the boardwalk sheltered, foyer, cafe, boarding lounge. Sustainability, 4 main sections: protection of land, siding, energy efficiency and consumption, the selection of building materials and process. Cost is really, the value is at 3 levels. The terminal is really the cog between the tourist trail between 12 Apostles and Wilson's Prom, 10,000 passengers a day peak, so it's a big contributor to the Victorian economy. At a local level, it's a local landmark and focal point. It's the biggest employer in Queenscliff, drops a lot of business into the sustainability of the local economy. For the client, 16.5 million, cover the ferry building, infrastructure, gantry, boardwalk, all the public realm initiatives and revegetation, so it's punched absolutely above its weight from our perspective. Consultant collaboration, big team, particularly on the terrestrial and maritime ecology issues. In conclusion, central concepts are guided by place and celebration of journey. The design engages site ecology, context, opportunities, and marries those with a complex functional program. The result is specific to the unique place and setting.